Asoniye abedwafo no anya atenase nti ene ye ba behwe na afi etumi edi enkomo Sami Batu aye NDC communication team member ankane no na okopie mu awokaswa ne empate mu ana hono no obutu se wasesa ne colors abakrom we free central region se what a great Accra ana afi nso me aminu ya o Jesse Jake MPP National Communication Team member nyina akodi fa ko ya TV eche na fe ni petrol twini ade a nyameti ase onyafo morning
rapping
se bibia e kama de
obo ada rama bibia e kama
na no me nwo se mu ko voter region
yeah Saturday no
your friends hopefully
yeah na be you has
oh okay
the courting program
oh okay mo sa se nipa bebre na guo ni elikem kotoko no mu ni ade na ede a
ona a team program with General Assembly ti me ene ayamba yedi yakorali behind Dr. Ashedin Kiti Junior echi Tony Chinedi na ekoy se be akọ support ama jumedi no ayetote
okay
okay it was a fruitful organization and it was massive. What means students they came in their numbers now share mebuno especially a man and pokran man manage no
a man
no what means the populace nearby and student nearby and man doso most at times no be call most of teen programs there a member na doso but we no more my surprise it was lovely. So it tells you say the future of the NDC is centered on the youth. And then we are not living in a stone unturned. Unlike at first, where Babe Mundaisi said, Yatia Kwadana Grassroots, we are not mining at the other. You can see, said the youth, they want to be part of the most attractive political party.
Now, what dama de Chiana?
Oh, there be.
Sadana,
and maybe do a crowd base 11 p.m. And that be that yes that be no
Saturday
see ya Saturday no and up until Saturday they be do close to almost 12 a.m. Accra. That was on Sunday.
Okay monya ko edi me say the figures ni be count and the area be di ho nkomo akire yes
me ya
boko de
nyame adom ye manage I mean we hear the ekoso o memo hana wa manage a I mean you we yo if you say dollar above form, but then local markets near I mean your various local shops now you can really see the impact of dollar now above form cannot be felt into economy am I in your managers of our pockets and I mean I always say it's just the lip service. I mean on paper we are seeing that the inflation has really come down. I mean, unprecedented for a very long time. I think it's around 3.2 or so.
Yeah, 3.2.
Exactly. I mean, dollar so is doing well, but the reality is that it doesn't correlate with what we are seeing on paper, as I say, and that is the worry of the ordinary Ghanaian. What dollar above for we should also feel it in our pockets. But then we call Makola Malata markets in the Adena. I mean, Conform can testify to the fact that they are not feeling the impact of the inflation about 3.2 any the city to the dollar, and I think it's around 11 or 10 or so.
Yeah, so you see because of
exactly. So I mean that's we are still managing. We've not seen the resetting agenda of the NDC, and the youth of this country are disappointed because almost 24-hour economic policy they've not been able to execute it well. And it is funny to know that Secretariat now does not even run a 24-hour economy service. Secretariat now or no say 24-hour economy the Secretariat itself does not even run a 24-hour service. So I could tell you that their main flagship program is a 24-hour economy. I told you.
I'm going to say
oh, that's not on the year campaign. We hear end this moment of truth. Your show there is a section dedicated for 24 hours. In fact, consistently, they were capitalizing on that. They made billboards, even did T-shirt on that. A campaign song on the 24-hour economy. So nobody will tell you is there a flagship program. It is the flagship program, and it was also captured in their main manifesto. A book in it. You know that's it. I mean, there is no hope. There is no hope. So we are just managing what is left in our pocket, and we are hoping for the best, but not in this NDC administration.
So I shall say any and rat. And show could be a toy. The be American said, Minister Bakacho said, oh, they say we are ready for the rains. But who paid toy? Metro phones on my atia said this year. She metro and Shukitoa. But who paid and NATO. And you can feel it on the grounds. In fact, baby, I mean, now yet to the extent and show to me talk to a quine. Tell my new town say it has displaced many people. Any other day. New town, I say, na a damn be a bua and Crawford. And I want to believe, say, it is as a result of a run, show a toy, because in Framana born run would be a factor, even though Omunyama officially to tell us the reason why the structure is here. But I can say it is a factor. Looking at the pillars, a peer was a Mensabakwi. Going forward as a country, what should we do?
Okay. That's in a day. I'm a Micha na Brahmin na Japan. Anopoe. Na Micha a chiefo. Na Micha Miankasa me boss Dr. Asidin Kete Junior on Ebo P Prince. I think say or born in modern year papa because or share the youth wing now doc a D nimuna at least or born in modern year. And I always say
on the youth wing
no, it's all okay youth committee
on
okay the deputy to Minka and Oshe na home farmer na home brase na it tells you say like father like son. He is very down to earth. Na Saturday no yekopie mu you has no or share ne lecture to the students no, and then the way they were so excited to have him there now, I think say he has a future. And I will pray say Nyankopon bebon ho ban na enuma pa woni mu no ono so be ma enchiri man na dachi no so no they also become future leaders to take the party forward.
And also be contest.
There be on cars will be contested. But I'm always saying Nyama all year the Boa party, and especially the grassroots, to make sure say it becomes the most attractive political party in our political dispensation. Na the well brain on who say the Mobiano. And when I made dana say me bonya empire say Obebuano, Nobebon who mod Obebon who buying on any PA. That may I always say one thing. Me say guy be friend na or blame me a buying near the other. Yen me say on one simple question say. Yen na ye tun show a bonte ye num pure water na we na ye do ye de tohi. And na papa be friend also say so to wonungwa o say himfa no. Amount for button no ma hye ne bola no omko hwegu nso na etene no
88.3
na nso na etene na ekwan
setting new standards.
And na madam for back on about friend me say o twa video the same as any den mu nyina yi last year nya ahia na me no time say last 2 years I friends and dachi hin nso to ya akwaji ni fie no ekosi say gates ni bebre na ye choked. That is the fact. Timemufon na bola na e wosi etua kama abobo ya omo be fa esi ampokra pragefo no abobo ya for esi omo ne na mpotemu na omo sesa. Unlike as first na obeka so there is this tracker obenama wo twen sisi abobo ya no omo na mpotemu na omo fa. Ti adenti na fa esi de obi 20 adenti na wintua. Enti nsuo no to na eyire na e fa wo demu a na nadmu na dem pa no be mawo
88.3
nadmu
setting new standards.
Yen fan say 72 inches nsu agbo awrem NADMO bema o value document bi wo dem na nsu aborem na ase NADMO menya amawana. So the whole thing boiled down to one thing. Aban betimi aye na afamu de. Being said the NDC or the MPP, aban bia with the help of NADMO ombe na afamu de. By boils down to yenya yeti wo kuro ni mu no. Wo ye obola na de hwe gu gata na nso no ta nso no ohwe kwan na we nya office oba hwan ho. That is the fact. Sa atala kwan. Sa gata na ye choked. Even pokro omo sambe bie mu sa gata na still have issues.
88.3 FM.
What you say? Ye drainage system no enye hwe. Ye drainage system no very poor. Hwe mo anim he ya. Mo anim he ya. Gata na enye choked. Nti nso to na yire be fine enye kwanum. Nti okwa no hu so gata na wo honum no onya nkwa enye fie na obebo erem. Nti yen won nti eba ne se na me nka so na ya aban na aban na no mpia water to getem aban na hwe obola de go getem senka ya de a wonu munsuo wo make sure so wanya das mu de gum obola wa make sure say abobo yafo na omo na mpotemu no wetua ka ono so de akobe bia dumping side I was okọ dumping no ono so kotua ka akọ dumping wo ho omo recycle fe ye betra ye meka so nsu ato na yiri ha na nsu apete akra ha ya nsu pete best 20 minutes na yiri
Setting new standards.
Nsu nya pete within 20 minutes pe na obehu so yes flood. Meanwhile hwe nsu na eto na obi say na sin nsu we anton ahin bia o. Your drainage system nyina e choked. Your district assemblies omo ye den. That's the one question I was say be say. And omo de ne so omo twetwa lampo na. No money na importem masa when try property rate. Are they looking into the consideration say gutters na work within omo friends say assemblies no omo draining nyina na. Enti say ye betena se ne de bia nso be yiri na so e was NADMO beboa na NADMO na ahia no beboa. So imagine say for 10,000 properties are say nso agbo awura mu fie. Say NADMO ba ono ba be mo si bia me mo so student mattress bi na odi atoso. E bia we ni aduane bi o de gi 5 kg bi mu bi na no edi o. Ba say we dem nyama nyina ye flood na say o TV asay o bibi asay o gas cooker asay. NADMO I don't think say NADMO be ba so because o 72 inches no ye trauma fufro. I don't think that will happen because all more the basic fence and shelter to cope with life, to be back on your feet. Enti ni nyina agira ye nyina ya yeti kuro no mu no. Maami oti dwem, oye bola wi a otwe na ni obi ani na ohwe gu ketem na okofie. Ko dwem bebre na he ko agbuglushi market na he. Gates ni nyina ye cho, omo de ntabo na de ato gates no so no mo ton nuama. Once the last time who say maami fo na one mu di dwa odwem na gates na ye chog na omo tetete hu no. Once the last time who so mo organize omo hu say ene ye clean am na yi gates no. Omo nye ba manso yiri ne mfa nuama na nse nuama obehu no kwabra na so camera de si nanim na mama ona be yi ogata mu bebia wa woti a wo didwa awa na waye fiama gata na ye chukunu wonye wa adwen so be clean ena AMA no so be kɔ hɔ no wakotwa ne ticket onim panse gata ne so ye chuk mo so amogi sika no mo nkɔ yim nti show no to a eto giyen ya nso na yiri na wo dem nuama say it happens to you.
Would it not be a grounds on which I was anka by this time you share areas ahodo a flooding and you hu the reasons when a flooding some of the MMDC should be sacked. In fact, like the minister in charge of works and housing and run I mean now your friend say your friend say Achimota here. The big drain there Achimota. I can tell you Anyana apalia dumpempe so bia sensio ton na omo kweri anu nyina they are gone.
MMDC is no office or winning the reason why flood nation.
Because you are more a budget to be able to deal with sanitation.
And then I may be sano. Officer, ye name the cause of friends and flood na saying. Or because you name the reason why every year there is flood or boy. Ye name the gutters na choked. Big drainage over corner, they say they were okay. Ball and I'm yanning in our palabato. On him. And yes, yet to perform Biana Evans. So, Ebia earthquake be seen also. Oh, where they na expect it. And answer to young chamber, ye name the root cause, no, and a becker so when ye name flood, they see every year now be a ye name. Or don't I ye name say be him. Yenim Sarah rubber name bola yenim baby fiba. So it is left with the district assembly for no omo no making sure say won potemu honum no with the regular rule name Crawford be making sure say what you be now the friends and bola the good get temu na mo china mo making sure we face law no but we so we next time yes I be next time. But
there is an appointor.
Oh, Masa.
If somebody is not performing, that person should go.
Masa, I make say. So ye DCU, or MMDCU. Say when they know the root cause. So they know. Say a fire outbreak. All of a sudden, that one is understandable. I feel no back here. Now you be gas, and now say illegal connection. And it's simple. But this is the case that every year BI runs to Mubiano, there's always flood. So why can't we find the root cause? Are we trying to say that we don't know the root cause? When we get a chuki, and MC or one put them on him say got in BI chuk. Or more motor, you must almost ticket. And trouble ticket in a scan on the other. When the budget call a discount bremo. Munim pan say gates na e chogunu. Nso beta e be yiri nti mo ye den.
If for example, ye nyina ye nim say mu twa ticket or mu gisika or mampani discount bremo so mu fanye adwuma, if the work is not being done, nipa or appointee or mono needs to make a decision. Is that not the case?
And in America say may I ask where they say a president be fire will be and non fire will be. You see, one thing in our board down to the father. So for any Panamboka at the end of the day, community to be the same thing.
But there is always a saying that leadership is cause, any other thing is effect. If a leader makes a decision, say, if somebody do this thing, the person will be held responsible.
Okay, a friend is saying Ashanti region, mayor no. Recent in your Swiss here, a friend example.
Your friend say,
is it Zuba? Recently, yeah, Zuba called a friend's market. A check that the phone say, baby, I'm not in a motor, dear, and oh, cousin, when persuasion for Draska for might be applying, no. Maybe tonight, cause say, at a point in time, no. So obi Jimmy I was so mafia no. Media phone be sorry si Zuba so ya hantan or ya dwe. Na mame phone no no mo ton didi. Meanwhile baby ani ba na tina ho ton de ne enye. What you say? Recently me so on the boys nam krom na catch am say, "What the baby how the gas yes, when him say wo nu aduane wo hanama, eno na ma fire outbreak ne ba." What transform all the trial transformer ho e wo dwam na a page wo fi say dey na besi into honest and he is implementing the law by yanti mamufo na obo so ya sansore de ti ano eno bi na si wo kumase heya Zuba is an example. He was making sure say krom honum no edwam honum no it to be clean. A kwan beda ho. Nti say even fire outbreak mi bokra na say your friend saying fire service for bokra na e kwan da ho ma me fo ne nti e kwan ni finfin ton nyoma. By most of the media stations. Sorry tiam. So ya hand time or ye dwe. Nti so be making sure say obeya the papa na ye nti mamufo no san besan so as tia na say na mamufo no aha no tena ton nyoma e de hwe ne ma e mo mu ko school na wo ba ye no wo pam o mo nkwa he. That is a lifestyle. Unsoto ananse eje bi shi wo ho musician na ye say aban. And ba ku bi frɛ na odi mu asɛm wɔ phone line no say na hwen and pastor BCCC Mahama Baso NDC ba ban so and say are you okay? Enti eyeyenya obi so oye adwuma den pe ye friend say regional minister Kumase obo adwuma ye nya nkofo mo mu sori tia no boys and girls omukọ penti enye se ye mfa fan de biamo okwabra ne nsa kwa akwase no. So you see the mentality ye dey to kromu anom no obi yes or apply law no rigorously and making sure say nyoma be dey dipe be hu se yenya be a group of people no more straight ya enti until say oya obola obe dispose no at the right way. Won't fangu get him because you see to obi ehu. Until say your drainage system ni be you know. Abrapenyi every year na admo for benye adwuma e.
Me da say. Jesse, the rainfall, that is one. The structure now collapse. I recall because I know that structure too well. Say meals time and I'm cutting that sort. And I'm share project na say. It has lingered through Mahama 1, Nanado 1, Nanado 2, and now Mahama 2. If that project was completed, see any my who completed that project, today we will not be hearing the collapse of that structure. So about 40 people or Muka, sorry. Oh, the second thing also ought to do with I sorry them why they and I school them why they are sorry. I recall some years ago, I want to be true, I say a buying school be anywhere or see a Makwan. Am I a sorry. This is an uncompleted structure. Fence to and you say be a isolation or fence in the womb and a sorry. And I see the minister has told us Nipa Makumako 3 and I first yes.
All right, that's it. My main chair, monoweti for no pay. Na main chair, my boss, lawyer Kwesi Kwarteng. I think they seem no. I mean, it's quite unfortunate. Say, I mean, we lost about 20 people. I mean, 20 people were affected, but I think the 3 people lost their lives out of the building collapsing. I think it's rather unfortunate. But actually, I think it's high time. We would have to speak to people. That's it. We are tired of this situation. We are tired of always coming here to talk about Asema. We've been talking about for a decade. In Sobeiri, the Babetna Yebekasa, a building will collapse. The Befraying, the Babetna Yebekam. So, do we want to paint a picture? Say, the Minister for Works and Housing is now aware of some of these improperly manufactured buildings. Do you want to tell me that a minister who is supposed to have an oversight duty over all these things is not aware? Or you want to tell me that our various members of parliament in our various constituencies are not aware that our gutters are choked? Is that a conversation? Or you want to tell me that the MMDCs who are being paid by taxpayers' money are not aware of some of these situations? What are we talking about? Look, most of our appointees, our ministers, our MMDCs, are not serious with their work. They are not serious. Because before you are appointed as a minister or as even as an assemblyman, no, there are a document that is being given to you to know your duties expected of you as a minister, as a member of parliament, as an MMDC, as a president, as a vice president. They know all these things. In fact, it is part and parcel of their duty as a minister, appointee, or a president or a vice president. They are aware of all these things. But the fact is, they don't see it as a serious matter. I find it very tiring to always talk about these, because look, the ministers are aware. Say in Soto or in Kraya for more than 20 minutes, flood in Bessie, flood in Siswa, traffic back room, so there will be less productivity, which will affect our economy. They are aware of all these things. They've been to schools. They've learned all these things. And you know, the fact is, we are not serious. And it will take a serious president, a serious vice president, a serious minister to correct some of these anomalies in our communities. And my brother rightly said, Zuba, in Kumasi, for me, he's doing a fantastic job. Because there is this nature of Ghanaians. He knows the right thing to do. But on yet, he's waiting for somebody to tell him, say, baby, I want you at the if you want to better her. So what I say. So I mean, that is the nature of Ghanaians. Then himself, it will get choked in Soto and Timinko, so it will cause flooding. They are aware.
Yes, still on there.
Exactly. So we need people, we need appointees or government officials who are very serious with the work that has been given to them to do, to put the people on their toes. There are a lot of government agencies so who sit down here, they are supposed to ensure, say, you are using the right materials, you are building at the right place. There are government institutions who are supposed to do that. And they are being paid by taxpayers' money. But at the end of the day, you go to their offices, they are sitting in air-conditioned rooms, doing nothing, watching videos on TikTok. That's all. Some of them even go to most of our government institutions. They are supposed to report to work exactly 8 a.m. But this same person will expect the same government to pay him or her at the end of the month. Where do you expect the president to pick money from to pay you at the end of the month? After reporting to work after 8 a.m. Most of our doctors and nurses, your government institutions now, and this one, the health minister is aware, but only a nurse or a doctor will report after his expected reporting time. Just because the spirit of hard work in the and I'll emphasize it again, say, we are not serious. Most of the government institution workers are not serious. Me, I've worked in a private hospital before. And we were 3 years, so I don't want to mention the name. Our tantra, we are supposed to report to work exactly 8 a.m. If you come after 8 a.m., you will clock in. But at the end of the day, they will deduct you a very huge sum of money. Into the we show pay slip. Now later, we are here to see it. Deduct 200 cedis. The next time, obey before 8 a.m. Ghana for Bebre, Echo US Embassy, Echo Jefferson. Obo an appointment at 8 a.m. Now so to do what 6 a.m. because Okope US visa. And the Bia make catch and for say we should treat our work to say Yakope US visa.
Is it not because what the machine be to say microphone clocking in? On San Nipana or Yedmo no bepe kwan bi so asay.
So that's why I'm saying that we are not serious. The fact is, we are not serious. Because the president has appointed a lot of people to oversee some of these government institutions. And a classical example, during Nanado's term, Oma Ken Ohine Japan, Ekoye, the
board chairman.
Yes, Ghana Gas.
Ghana Gas, yes.
And an incident happened. Oko Ghana Gas, there was no clocking machine. So the people report to work at any time. and omo ko ejuma so a omo tete ho they don't do their work just like cocoa board it can call ho no and I say I didn't think a government institution are buying etwa makamuni clocking machine. So he was the first person to purchase these clocking machines. Ghana Gas. And Shadia see he had an information say even some of the directors they don't report on time. So one day he intentionally went there very early around 6 a.m. to confirm information now when you say ayampa and ayampa. Shockingly, some of the workers and the directors reported to work after 10 a.m. and he sacked them. Yes, he sacked some of the workers and the directors from Ghana Gas. He sacked them. What I said. So we need that kind of attitude and very familiar of a Ghanaian nature. No, opamunu fi wajume ma. Who of course said the bush phone na bada bepo wacho. So fachan wo nye biom. So you see. Sir attitude when I mean in the marketing way na Edia Berry see. So as always say I'm tired of talking about this situation because we are all aware. Akwala or class 6 onim say wouldn't work go get man ebe flade. Omuni madie way. People know all these things. But you see the pre go so because well Ghana na yetno the be able to maye. And abeye sa because our leaders are not serious enough to put the citizens on their feet to do what they are supposed to do. And so it boils down to the fact that we need leaders who are very serious to reset some of these pathologies in our communities. And that is the fact. But at the end of the day, if the leaders are not working well enough,
and Rami, say when you walk around videos looking at the time we're building, you collapse here. So and me kwakoda around 10:30 to 11. Na still yen to me and some debris need to be able to make sure say a nipa egu ase nyina say bi ewu say bi nyem we to ye omono. As a country, building a TOSO 3 a collapse. It took us hours to be able to.
And you see, on that score, Minister Nokra acknowledged the fact that the country is not well equipped with some of these emergency situation equipment to be able to rescue people. As I said, and Senator Mekan, he is aware that the country doesn't have these equipment. So what is he doing? Has he made any efforts? Or has any past administration made any efforts to get some of these rescue equipment for some of these situations? So we are aware, but just that we are not serious. We are aware of all these situations. President Mahama to Jubilee House and he is aware. Oko Jubilee House and Nima Segata Daho. Why? Because the president is there. So whoever a assemblyman and a MMDC or what that area will always make sure say Jubilee House and him there. But what about Chimota? Koko for the Akohe, Kwasante region. So you see, we are just not serious, and it is high time Kebejai Kasamo, and we will start to get action done. We need to get people who are serious with the work. People who put the citizens on their toes. I mean, I'm when you can't flood and got into got to ball and guha and even people, educated people are aware. Say, Okoto assassin or waterlogged area now we see that in Sultan Hobetcho. But some of these elites are buying lands at some of the waterlogged areas and they are building on it.
They are feeling it. They are feeling it.
Yeah.
And run me call hold on the first uncle because cement in iron rods.
Exactly.
I've seen said the iron rods are not there, but most of us say about chippers, me was on
they will feel it. Exactly. But you see, they are all aware, but they are doing it. And some of these MMDCs have also taken their share and they are allowing them to do it. Very corrupt people.
I recall Sir President Baye, and he had met some MMDCs, especially Ewo Nungwane in Patimo, and he made a statement. And I think maybe a president is in the rafia. Or say, nkrofo sisi dan e wo waterways.
Yeah.
And if he was the president as at the time, that DCE could have been a forgotten cost. Today, under his watch, it is still happening.
It's still happening. So what is he doing? It's kasa, but the backstops are the president. If he's not willing to step foot on ground and take action, these things will continue to happen. Gasauta, there are similar buildings there. Gasauta here, there are similar buildings there. Even worse than in the Bubu Yano. But I can say in phobia, they say, I'll be a dream bottom.
Yeah, try my neighbor answer.
Yeah, that's not how.
Well, let's go on our second topic. Out of 107 big push contracts, none was subject to a competitive bidding. Suleiman Brahima, executive director for Media Foundation for West Africa, the Fourth Estate and these are stories we buy. There's also an argument say, we cried under the MPP, there was no, in fact, all the contracts according to them was sole source. Sammy, in opposition, you spoke about sole source not being the good idea. Must say sole source or mine 44% as reported by the minister in charge of roads and highways. I say 44% of about 400 contracts are sole source.
Probably, you see, first of all, and then 3 days, now me on Facebook, and I'm a call Fourth Estate, or man some Facebook wall, and then they publish, what's the name? A flyer indicating say a sole source contract was being given on the 1st of August 2026. And that contract is expected to end 26th August 2028. So you ask yourself one simple question, sir. We are in March. So how come a contract is being given 1st August 2026 and it will expire 26th August 2028? So when we realize a jandam no one go pulling it down, but there are screenshots. Say a case sole source. When this whole thing began, the MPP in collaboration with Fourth Estate, Manasseh Azuri, was like, oh, there is a scandal coming. There's a scandal coming. Scandal amra ni intia. The big push project, no, majority of it. Sole source
88.3 FM.
One,
Setting news.
it is a lie. Say a 107 contract under big push. A 54. Out of these 54, no, 7 a restricted bidding. And now out of 47, no, 23 a inherited ongoing project under big push. So where from the 107? In any case, Yembisa who one simple question said, the said big push project now more say a sole source, no, which of them is not on site? Which of them?
Nobody is talking about being.
Meba. And then secondly,
they said the contract are sole source.
Meba. When we say sole source, of which whereby I will say a breach, your brand and PPA, a friend say.
No, he is not saying say a breach. He is saying that the moment you issue a sole source and cut through the competitive bidding, meaning say anka would be more, you would have had contractors who would have given you a different quotation, and you would have chosen
agenda 111. That was prioritized under the MPP. Was it sole source or it was competitive bidding? Agenda 111 projects, all of them. Was it sole source or it was competitive bidding? All of them were sole sourcing. So what are you saying? 54. Maybe.
Was it good at the time? Was it good?
When a situation whereby a sole source project, the figure is being, a friend said, ballooned. And then so it is wrong. Which of the sole source projects are now contracts under the big push? Amount no who say amount we know it is mind blowing. They should name one. If you are saying say sole source is not good, whereby I win himself, okay, amount of contract now the mass our company, you know, it makes sense. Of which it doesn't breach the PPA Act. Of which there's no conflict of interest in that friends on sole source, you know. So which of them is wrong? That is what they should argue on. If you are saying say sole source now the man, you know, if their company has friends and conflict of interest, that is one. 2, value for money, it is not there. 3, the said company does not exist. And then you argue on that basis now. Then you have a reasonable argument. But one, source companies now, contract, no. 1, there is no conflict of interest. 2, there is no balloon of the amount now contract in the mind. 3, all these companies exist, they are working 24/7. Weekend here me call your friends a Volta region who me ba ye fi on banajo udu apegu so they are all working day and night. Under the MPP omuka chair say we are coming to have year of friends say concrete road. Shall me end of the concrete road omuye. Even 1 kilometer omu chair 1 concrete road omu tun say peso ye be concrete of roads. Which of them?
But the real question and say in opposition you complain about sole source.
We complain about sole source because of the money that were involved in it. You go to this agency, Senate whereby software you do sole sourcing of $73 million for construction. Was there an agency on that? Was it an agency? Anna, is it a matter of agency? The answer is no. Sans Sputnik, your friends say vaccines yeah, ajima menuka so a matter of agency. Or says can deliver. Source contract no demand deliver na.
But the road is not an emergency.
Is it not an emergency?
When did the road construction become an emergency?
Yeni kromu ha ene what the problem was obia complaining. Yeni kromu ha na who call your friends say Accra to Kumasi road. People get accident because of the problem of the road.
People are complaining, but yes, still people are still using the road.
So if people are complaining, why are they complaining? They are complaining because the roads are not good. Is it not a matter of agency? A situation whereby you get to a community, no matter what say, the roads are being deprived in a bad state. Into so therefore, so be yarena so the need hospital. It takes you hours before they get there. Into nimpane yare is not a matter of agency.
3 FM.
And to say yeah, kwani say obi yare within 2 minutes, 3 minutes, obetimi do the nearby villager. Is not a matter of agency.
That is the reason why Muso say those contracts.
Source in anyway. And then Bisa will say, some 54 contracts are 7 a year competitive bidding, 47 a year sole source. Out of that 44, no, 23 of it a year existing contracts are not existing. I had the best and the big push. So which of them has breached the law? Which of them and musika and ya balloon? Which of them? And your friends and conflict of interest. Agenda 111 no more no. I mean you know the mass sources. Go and look at the figures. Even today, which of the Agenda 111 project on markets one per air functioning now?
88.3
Which of them?
Setting new standards.
So obibet me the 111 project at the ama so sourcing. Not today, not even one is functioning. Not even one. Now say you have 47 source project and then they are working day and night. Go to this guy's Facebook page, Walanyo, and you will see all the big piece project. It is going working on around the country. So if you are making an allegation, say, okay, when the 47 at the amaso sourcing, and then out of this 47, no, FBI, there were 20 of them are conflict of interest. There were even 15 of them are amount of money now with the contract, no, it doesn't make sense. okay, yeah, well, this number of contract, owners of this contract now, they are not even on site. And your mind when they want a coffee bent to cut in news for a catcher so under or tenant, the most important thing is say Uber or a quan obey say they don't care about the amount of money involved. Commune constituency. Ufi your friend say yendi air cost absugu. Last 2024 me ko a kwanya omo ye over kwa ba na kwan na tutu. E kwa omo ye omo nya wie no omo paache. Does that make sense? So you balloon an amount of money and then you give it to contractors. Now at the end of the day, no, they don't even work. They don't even deliver. Now 47, of which are 23 pokra now home programs and ebetui by a ban ya those rules no ya chi their account. And then they are working. There is evidence to that effect. Into so better as a catcher me so and I'm buy and I'm complaining about so yeah complaining about so because of the conflict of interest that was involved, the amount of money that you were awarding to those contracts.
Now in this situation, so when you're competitive bidding now, how can somebody understand say the money you are assigning to the sole source have been ballooned?
Which of them are allegation on we no? Which of them who's almost cited say this particular contract and at this particular road, the amount of money given wasn't making sense? Which of them? Which of them no man cited said this contract, even that contractor is not being on site? And you get one argument, so that this particular contract, company, he has only one worker. So they keep on beating around the bush. Then they divert the attention. Say. You are speaking with no fact. You are speaking with no fact. So now walk and when and a conflict of interest. I breach the law. And when amount of money involved, a breach law and a balloon. You are not speaking about legality, but you are speaking out of emotions. Wow, bow ye year of fruits. Rose and him ye. I will launch in a baby year of fruits. Rose and him no more constructing. So when you have a group of people like the MPP and then yes, you say next office here, a fourth estate, and they keep on deceiving the citizens now, then it baffles my mind and you ask myself, say, now is there a situation whereby now I buy any and you're and I which is which?
That's anyway. So on the issue on sole sourcing, I think that we should applaud the fourth estate for what they have done, because in the spirit of accountability, for over the years, I mean, they've proven credibility. And there is something that we need to put on record here. That whatever that we are discussing, right? Mm-hmm. Be it the fourth estate, not the bio, the fifth estate, not the bio. All these information came from the Ministry of Roads and Highways. Mm-hmm. So let's establish that. So whatever that we are seeing online or on the internet, mm-hmm. These information came from the Ministry of Roads and Highways. Now, here, Ghanaians are beginning to see the raw colors of the NDC. And in fact, Ghanaians are disappointed in the NDC because in Yama, I'm criticizing in opposition. Now that they are in government, they are not only doing the same thing, but they are doing it at an unprecedented rate. And then we are talking about sole sourcing. Now, the Public Procurement Act now, which is 2003 Act 663 now, it shows what procurement and the governance means. Now, in that same act, it also explains what single sourcing or sole sourcing means.
That's right.
Now, see, I can say procurement under the PPA law. It shows say I buy per se or laptops 10 Emma any basic school on man ho kwan ma contractors be fan say 5 ede omo bidding eba omo GRA document omo SNIT clearance form chom the number of workers they have some of the project they've been able to do in the past into no aban to nebo share those documents him say oh contractor A why your project be nti say the way man obetima that is procurement under the PPA law.
Yes.
Now in the same PPA law no esa soma aban ho kwan say there are some situations the government will not have the luxury of time what I say to go through a contractor's document to confirm whatever that is stated in the document say you're true and then you're true. That is where sole sourcing comes in. Into sole sourcing no aban hand pick a particular contractor to do the job without going through the necessary bid and are you qualified or no. He just pick one contractor to do the work. That is sole sourcing. Now NDC in opposition demonize sole sourcing. In fact, they criticized it, they discredited sole sourcing even to the point say Omo Kwampo ka say MPP aban no area on mine sika through sole sourcing. They said all of these things. Our own President John Dramani Mahama, a cracker say sole sourcing ayana it leads to inflated cost. Until no it puts a drain on the nation's financial resources. He said this.
Yes.
Kwame Abuja was in opposition. Eka said one of the reasons why yen to me complete your road ni na say yet the road contract ni na ma sole sourcing. And sole sourcing most of the times na it comes with an inflated cost.
3 FM setting new standards.
The president Abra the economic dialogue and I'll quote him. He said something about sole sourcing. The president described, and this on internet, so you can verify this information from the National Economic Dialogue in Accra. The president said the excessive abuse of sole sourcing of public sector contracts as an act leads to inflated contracts and causes a major drain on the country's finances. And even in their manifesto, he pinpointed say Omuba Abaima, they are not going to do sole sourcing. The promise was all road contracts will be given under competitive bidding. So Ghanaians know the NDC for competitive bidding because to Omu NDC for no sole sourcing I am for 10 years card. I am ministers need 10 years card. Omuba, they are not going to do sole sourcing. Today, the NDC is in power and Adiano Mayano Gaddafi crying entimi the NDC for and then oh my grand Mohano. Oshe project under big push now. The projects are 115 projects under the big push. And these are verified information from the Ministry of Roads and Highways. 115 projects. Intiminya say enye 107 or what? These are information from the ministry's website. It's 115 projects. Now, out of the 115 projects under big push, Minister said only 8 are ongoing projects. They say about the car 107 projects. Now, out of the 107 projects now, a big push in 87 of the projects were subjected to sole sourcing. We are calculation it's about 76% of the whole big push project now NDC 4 year intuition big push a sole sourced because 81 of projects a sole sourcing which amount to 76%. So your calculation now. And you can't run away from this fact. No matter how you want to put the communication, you can't run away from the fact that a government only 2 years within 7 months waiting me awarding over 107 projects, of which 81 of them are so sold. That is facts.
But say existing contractors so now say you are absorbing them under the big pusher, are you not going to maintain them as sources, or you are going to cancel their contract? And
exactly. So what ongoing projects are that? And sana oba abayima, you re-award the contract again because abayim biano any extent or person or ya na fine.
But if assuming say ebia under the MPP, they say Temamoto way, am I sources for example. Na say aban ba fufuro ba no hweso wo the way papa ye wo ye na dwumani mani so I want to maintain how then do you re-award it? Even if you want to re-award it, you re-award it for a source, you cannot do a competitive bidding. Because if you want to do a competitive bidding, you are looking at maybe after 6 months.
No, you can't do it. So we award the contract. It's just like you awarding a new contract. So you go in with your terms and conditions.
Yes.
If
but
you
do it on source basis.
How?
Say me fan say we year kwan, we na we Temamoto way. Na say MPP aban na dem a na NDC aban aba. Na NDC aban so we medi di adwuma we ye nti me pesa wo to aso. Na me re-award that contract.
That's on source
even if it's on source
and a competitive bidding, you still maintain it.
If I want to maintain it, I cannot open it for people to bring their
exactly
bill. Yes.
But then projects here, 81 projects here can once me. These are projects from the NDCU. 8 ongoing projects next year. It's not part of the sole sourcing conversation now. Here can once no. These are big push projects at NDC for Ankasa Pese Omoye. So these are from the NDC. The 23 or the big push now, I'm say on being here. That one is different. That one has been re-awarded. But the 81 now here can once more. Our contractor, President Mahama Pese or initiative. So these are from the NDC. Do you get what I mean? And the remaining 26 now are coming out of the 107 were subjected to restrictive tendering. So the promise of competitive bidding has failed.
Okay.
They didn't honor their promise to Ghanaians, and that is why Ghanaians are very disappointed in the NDC. Now, secondly, we can say there are some projects. NDC for and here it's true. It was about 23 projects, and now they have re-awarded the projects again. Now, it is shocking to know, say, one of the projects was awarded on the 12th of October 2025, which was on a Sunday. And it is illegal to award a contract out of working hours. The PPPA law doesn't allow that. You award a contract on Sunday. Sunday, one age man. Sunday, government institution bear or award the award and age on Sunday. So these are the inconsistencies, and you can't run away from one minister information or the about who awards a contract on Sunday. Who does that?
24-hour economy.
Who does that? And you want to tell me, say, you are too holy to be doing some of the things that you award a contract on Sunday, and see your minister has the guts to come and explain why he awarded the contract on a Sunday. And the information you are getting is that this contract was given to an NDC person. These are the facts. Now, my third point, minister no raise a conversation. Minister no raise a conversation about say the bellot some of our road projects. Send a contractors that was the conversation he raised in Parliament. What is a good thing? Say obi abetimi or mining wejuma aye. But Oshe the road project contractor Ababontina Kumasi Outer Ring Road, right? Kumasi Outer Ring Road. Oma loti so si akasa lotting project afan say bia wo a 45-kilometer road a oba lotting 10 kilometer 10 kilometer say be ya contract bia betimi ne bia
anya bi say bia omatumi awie ntem.
Exactly. Now okay omo documents from the buy anymore. Kumasi Outer Ring Road project lot 1 15 kilometer, lot 2 15 kilometer, lot 3 15 kilometer. Omo da ma one contractor. So what are you talking about? So the idea is say lots of projects I'm a contractor it's neither here nor there. And all lots of projects now you have to pay the contractor mobilization equipment maintenance. I mean,
also catch all the contractors and say we are not going to give you any mobilization. Move to site.
It's neither here.
And they will pay you.
It's neither here nor there. After Kasafa some inflated costs.
Just
1 minute. I say the NDC has not inflated costs and Asan Toka Ibisa. Who had the Pepper Road? It was awarded in 2016 by their own president, President Mahama. Time no call back say, oh, this is one of the most premier road on Obabe overseas.
Yes.
And that particular Dodo Pepesu road no was on competitive bidding because they EU for Nana funded that road. Road no almost constructed in 2016 it cost 25.9 million euros. In their own big push, almost on by the year rehabilitation of the road now cost 25.9 million euros. And then we share the cost on by the year for the rehabilitation almost 63 million euros. Doesn't make sense to you. And yet in the same document you can verify it. And yet you want to tell me say the NDC has not committed themselves to sole sourcing. Check your own document before you come and speak on the facts.
But 1 minute.
1 minute.
Yeah, first.
You see, I keep on saying say Jandambia MPP ne Fortest Yombe Komutia boom. All in the name of say abane born home de nyom de. Nti ena me di kan no. Baby omo kaso ena big push project near 107 no. Eye busre mu ka ena me send a document back on the demand no. Sa flyer me send ma from Fortest. You sit down no akaso so source no omo award the contract in the near future. Wow, ye hwe mu ahun so bo an wa ye fi wow o Facebook wo. We are in March, so who award a contract in the near future? In August. Enye April na May mpo in August. What you say? So these are some of the lies omo transfer omo cookie omo de to ewiem. Enti at the end of the day no, omo anka say ntro omo twa ne jandam omo ye no, it will catch up with them. And now be said to Mamuni na he knows they are seeing facts say now no big push now bano obora o call a friend is saying Volta region a kwane koso o call a friend saying a central region o call western no himfa ni nyina a kwane boss correct a friend say damba a friend saying a cross river a winner ejuma e koso
Jesse
no I mean in some there yaka Ghanaians are disappointed in the NDC. They thought NDC was the best option, but see, I'm Ghana for says from NDC for no other Ghana for. Or move your money sika, and that is fact. I won't do 2 years, wait till my the contract over around the 79 source. Who does that?
Thank you.